Hello, I'm here with...
Josephine Genais.
And for those of you that don't know you, how would you introduce yourself to them? Tell a little bit about yourself and your music, how you describe it.
Okay. My name is Josephine Genais. I'm a singer-songwriter. It's pop music that has some strangeness to it. I had a show a few months ago, and this woman came up to me at the end of it, and I've been describing my music in that way ever since. She came up to me and in a very heavy French accent, she took my hands and she went, "I like you. Your music, you're very elegant, but you're also a bit strange. I like that about you."
Best way to be.
And since then, I've just been referencing that every time anyone asks me to introduce myself. So that's
Lovely.
all anyone needs to know about me.
And what would you say is your earliest memory of music? The first time you have like a conscious thought of music surrounding you in your life?
Ooh, like creating it or like listening to it?
Like first ever memory, like listening.
Yeah. I remember my parents had this really thick like folder in which they had all their DVDs. So it was like one of those like, I guess like magazine things that you could slot the not DVDs, CDs. They could slot the CDs in out of their box, and I remember just sorting through that and looking through and looking at all the covers, and you know my mum would be like, "Okay, Josephine, go pick the DVD." CD, oh my god, we don't use them anymore. Pick the CD to put on. I think that would be my earliest memory. Very
Do you
good
have
question.
like a standout CD that you would remember?
At the time, it was definitely either a Gold Frap album that I'd be putting on, or it was a Bat for Lashes album. I was obsessed when I was a kid with Bat for Lashes because my parents were, and I think it was kind of where my meter of coolness as a like 5-year-old girl kind of met my parents' meter of coolness, if that makes sense.
But from there, how did you get into music? What was your next steps that you took?
I think my gateway into music was first lyrics. I was always, as a kid, like writing in a diary, writing poetry, and that was kind of the way that I got into music, because then I found out that I could do this thing that I loved and then put it with these like really cool sounds, and then it could be this, it's called a song, you know, put it on 3 minutes and 40 seconds and you've got a hit. Yeah, I couldn't sing, I couldn't play any instruments, so I decided that I had to learn to sing. And I was very bad for a very long time. And my parents braved through it. They were like, "Josephine, please shut up." And I just wouldn't. And just kept going until the sounds that came out of my mouth were somewhat decent.
How old were you when you started learning?
I wouldn't call it learning.
Practicing.
I'd call it just screaming in my bedroom by myself. But I think probably like 6.
Wow.
Something like that, and then it's a muscle, I guess.
Yeah.
So like at some point you keep persevering, it's gonna start sounding okay. And then when that started sounding okay, I was like, okay, now we write songs. And I remember these songs that I used to write. I had this one notebook that was my songwriting notebook, and I remember one of them was called Barbie Girl, and they were very angry songs for a 5-year-old. I don't know where I got my inspiration from. It was something like, "I'm not your..." No. It was, "I don't need to be your Barbie girl for you to love me." It was something like that. Something along those lines. But yeah, and then slowly figured out that I also needed to play an instrument. Convinced my piano teacher to let me stay after hours and use the piano that was in the school. And yeah, combined the two, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, so it really seemed like you just sort of knew from that early age.
I think so. I think it was just always something that, I wouldn't say I felt like a decision.
Yeah.
It was just always something that like, it's quite recent, like as in like in my entry into my like adult years, I've been like, okay, this is what I want to do as a career. I think for a really long time it was just like, you know, it was just something that I liked doing and that I wanted to do. I didn't really think much further, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And obviously now, as it is something that you want to do, who are some people that you've really looked up to inspiration-wise, both sonically, lyrically?
Yeah. Slight interruption. I'd say, well, Lana Del Rey is always my first answer. I love her so much. I love people like Mazzy Star. I love older artists like Lou Reed, Leonard Cohen, Tom Waits, Nick Cave. But I also love all the pop girlies. I think quite a broad spectrum of things that I like to draw from. But definitely like the big ones are I think all the like writers are always my like
and on from that writing, like what's your favourite way, or maybe the way you tend to find yourself writing more? Are you someone that tends to, like in a session, be more successful, or just sit down one night and you tend to get more luck out of that, very like spontaneous, or do you need to like get in the zone?
You know, it really depends. I've had both scenarios result in equally and very differently as satisfactory for me songs. From songs that like are coming out not recently, soon. Songs like Paris Dies, for example, which is coming out soon. It's like that was like a studio session song, but a lot of the time it's based off of maybe an idea that I've had in my lonesome. Like that was based off of like a diary entry that I'd written. So like I guess the idea itself comes from me being alone. But then there's songs like a song I wrote recently called Always You Know Me, which is like that's like a 3 a.m. back from the party like song, like on the piano, being really quiet, so not to wake my roommate. So yeah, I guess it really depends, kind of both. Sorry, it's not the best answer.
No, it's interesting. And you've recently released a single, Heaven on a Sunday. How was that release process for you?
Long, very long, but very rewarding in the end. It was that song when my good friend and collaborator Daniel Taylor and I, when we wrote that in the studio, that was kind of the song that defined everything else that came afterwards. Like we'd been kind of, I had kind of put myself through like A&D for like a few years, being like, right, what does this project sound like? And that was kind of the first song where we were both like, okay, this is something. So that song was really special for that. But it also took a lot of time for that reason, because it was always going to be the kind of like first defining thing, if that makes sense, of what the rest hopefully is going to live in the same world as. So it's been really fun having it out. I've had so much like love around it that just kind of blows my mind, to be honest, because I'm very quick to kind of just assume that no one's going to care. And so whenever someone does, I'm like, wait, you know my name? Thank you. Oh, sorry, I just touched the mic.
And I wanted to ask a little bit about the visuals and what inspired those. Very cool outfit, may I say.
Thank you. I'm really interested in like the juxtaposition of like this really poppy world with visuals that maybe pertain to a bit of a stranger and weirder side, kind of what I was saying earlier, to be honest. I'm repeating myself. But so my thought process was like, okay, what's like kind of a strange thing that I can do that still feels like it lives in the world? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put on a full like party outfit, sequin shorts, pearl bra, fur coat, long red nails, and I'm gonna go, where does that not fit on a athletic track field? That was kind of the process behind it. And I guess the song is very much like it talks a lot about like youth and things like that. And there's like a lyric in the chorus which is like, Vanity Vigilante and the Bleachers. So there was that whole idea of kind of that, like, I don't know, something about the athletic track feels very like high school to me. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, no. And tonight you are playing a show. How are you feeling? What's your like relationship with live performance?
Good, yeah, I'm really excited. It's the first time that we're going to be playing all together with the band. We've done shows, well, I've done shows before with the guitarist, but and also with my friend on piano. Also, we've done a few shows like that. But it's the first show where it's fully like, you know, we've got drums, we've got 2 guitars, we've got track, and it's just my like goal when putting it all together was kind of to try to make it sound as accurate to the like record as possible. So that's why we brought in track and everything. But it's just I'm really excited because I think it sounds really, really good, and it's just a very exciting night. Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about a song that you're particularly excited to perform tonight?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm really excited to perform Paris Dies because honestly, it's just one of my favourite songs that I've ever been able to make, and it's really special to me. It's a song kind of about growing up and leaving and coming back and realising that everything's changed pretty much. And the whole arrangement that we were able to do is just such a great world. And she's not playing with us on stage, but my best friend plays strings on the song, so that's going on track. So that song is just going to sound so huge, and it's so meaningful to me. So I'm going to try very hard not to cry. I might shed a little tear, but it's okay because we're going straight into heaven on a Sunday afterwards.
No chance.
Okay.
Thank you so much for chatting.
No, thank you so much. It's
I wanted
been so
to
fun.
finish just by asking what you have planned next, where you want to go from here.
Yeah, so I have so much that is not quite ready to go, but that just needs very small, minute touches to be ready to go. And I think for me it's just about timing, and I think I've learnt to be a bit more patient with the way that things come out, to wait for the right time, to not rush things. But I'm really excited for everything that's coming. I'm very proud of everything that's coming. And I think that patience, I guess, is what has got me to the point now where I'm able to be like, okay, whenever this does come out, it's going to feel very good, and I'm going to be proud of it for a long time, not just as a kind of like now thing. But yeah, Paris Dies is definitely coming very soon. A song called Famous is also coming soon. And yeah, I'm just very excited for all of it.
Lovely. And would you just like to finish by telling everyone where they can find you on social medias and streaming platforms?
My name is Josephine Genais, and you can find me on Spotify, all streaming platforms, all social media under that exact name, at Josephine Genais.